Morning, everybody. How you doing this morning? Right now, on this Sunday, weather's okay, but we're going to have a few changes here shortly. So, what I'm doing here right now is in order for me to explain things to you, break this down of what my investigation has found back here from the last three previous videos I've shown you. And so I have to use this as the background because this is where it's coming from. And of course, right back here right to my backside is Mount Lassen. Now, for where I'm standing at, to what you're seeing is the mountain. That's It's kind of creepy out here right now, guys. I could get something over here moving around on me. Anyway, excuse me, now and then I gotta pay attention over here too. So I'm going to explain to you is why all that evidence I showed you in the last three previous videos. And that was a lot of good evidence. And it's also evidence that I do know now. It has nothing to do with rogues, one or two of these hybrids, nor is it coming from what I call a small family. Small family of these hybrids would consist of one male, one female, and a junior. Maybe two juniors. That's it. The other thing is, they're not going to show any aspect that they're territorial. For the simple reason, he has a heavy, heavy task in front of him, and that is to protect his female, protect his young'uns, and survive, reproduce. He's not going to give up where he's at because he has that family to protect. They don't have a particular range of territory either. They just kind of roam and roam, just like the early hominins did, wherever they could forage and find food and shelter. But it is definitely the work of a group. And the reason I know that is because it's through the evidence that I showed you in the last three videos. You could tell that they're really, whoever did that is really impressing upon you of how aggressive and powerful they could be. Only a group would do this. I would say from a mediocre group to maybe a little bit of a large group, that could consist of at least a half a dozen. And with that, in that kind of a group, they will show their territorial. And I think I'm being watched right now. No doubt about it. They're territorial, and they're going to show you their territorial, and they're showing you their strength, their prowess. It's a metal thing to the head of a human. And it also represents if any other apex predators happen to come in their territory, when they do see stuff like this, it's out of the norm. They're going to kind of stay away. It's the males that will get aggressive like that, and they'll do such a thing, like pushing the trees over, taking forest debris and making certain markers, like I showed you. What I call the arc, which is basically a gateway. It's a gateway of travel. They had markers back there indicating where there's water. So they have all the main markers out, okay? And of course, from the first two previous videos, they let me know that they were around. That's why they were throwing things at me and my son. And even my son, he has never seen anything like that in his life in the forest. And that's what changed his view on things. Right, Chris? Love you, boy. Miss you. Can't wait to see you next year. He'll be, when he comes out here once a year, he's going to come out once a year and visit me, and he's going to come out in my research with me, which I'm really glad. Anyway, here's my point. I know where they're coming from. They're coming from Mount Lassen. The reason I say that, remember I told you, they're strictly subterranean. They don't live on the ground. They don't live above the ground. These nest or shelter areas that I do come across, and others may come across, they're temporary, okay? That's all it is. It's temporary as they travel through. They will build these huts and such. They have markers that points them in directionals, where it basically is, it's like you would be jumping in the car, we head on the roads, you know, and you get signs that tell you where to go, right? Same thing with these guys, they're communicating. Nonetheless, these guys can travel from there to where I'm standing at right now. And that's probably about 10 miles. From my house to Mount Lassen's around, I think it's just around 8 to 9 miles. Right here at this point, it's about 10 miles from here to there. These guys could travel that distance within a couple hours. No joke, within a couple hours. Why? Well, because of their massive size, when they walk, this is a normal walk, depending on the height. Well, let's just take one that's 8 feet tall plus. And his gait's going to be 4.5 to 5 feet. Normal, that's just normal walking. So for every 2 steps he takes, he's covering 10 feet. We can't do that. We cover a couple feet. Follow what I'm saying? So it'll take them a couple hours to get there from here. And the same to go back. And as you can tell, they got a lot of force out there that they can stay evasive. And the reason I'm staying back there, because I can't find any place around here I can't find any underground caves, caverns, nothing subterranean whatsoever. So there's no doubt in my mind they're coming from there. And the reason I say that is because at the basin, the outskirts of the basin, you got buku latitudes. And that is where they're living. They're living in the latitudes. Special ones, okay? And what I mean by special ones, it goes down like this. I'm going to tell you right now. Because of their massive size, and they do have a female, and they got juniors, okay? And they're going to protect these with their lives. They're not going to go into any cave or cavern or even a lava tube if it's not sustainable for them, for dwelling. And furthermore, they're not going to ever go into one that has no exit. They're not going to go into one that has an entrance. Cats will, bear will, wolves, coyotes, but these guys are not. They want a place to escape. That's a fact. Anybody that believes that factor, I'm going to tell you right now, you're fooling yourself, okay? And secondly, they're not going to be going into one where they're going to be crawling around, going through small spaces. That is bullshit. And it's not going to happen. These guys, I've seen these guys front up, man. These guys are huge. I mean, they're monstrous in size. You have no idea how massive they are. I do. And I've been watching some of these documentary shows on it, and some of these people have been finding like these caverns or whatever in caves, and they're going in. They're not going to be crawling in these small spaces. I'll tell you right now, there's no way in hell you can. A fucking bear can't even do it. So, and with a bear, it doesn't matter if there's an exit or not. But these guys, I'm telling you right now, it's got to have an entrance. It's got to have an exit. It's got to have the size to accommodate them. Otherwise, you're looking in the wrong place. That's a fact. Look, you can believe me if you want. I really don't care. I've been doing this for a hell of a long time on the books and documenting all this now for, my God, for about 15 freaking years. So, I definitely know what I'm talking about. But this is where they're coming from. This is where they're coming from. And like I said, they can invade whatever they want till they get here. So my guess is, so their territory, usually the range is about a 5-mile radius. So that's 5 miles north, south, east, west. Some of them might carry up to 10 miles. Okay? I do know that because they respect the fact that there's other species of these hybrid hominins too. I've already known this for years. I've already documented this. I've already documented about a half a dozen different types of species. Not all look the same. They're similar, but not all the same, just like us. We look similar, but we're all not the same. So that's what's going on right here, okay? And it makes sense to be why the old cabins we had over here, why they're basically tore up, and the other one, which I showed, like, I think about a year and a half ago, where they actually destroyed some parts of one, okay? When they come around, they don't want us around. That is just a plain factor, okay? But I had to use this for the backdrop so you understand where I'm coming from, okay? I hope this makes sense what I'm explaining to you. So, and most importantly, look it. You can't just go out in the woods and pick a spot and say, well, hey, this is where they're probably at, let's go see. Or you talk to some eyewitnesses, well, let's go see. What you need to understand is this. Because someone may have came across one and had an eyewitness account, it does not mean that they're going to be in that same area. I'm telling you that right now, because 99% of the time, that is not true. They're always on the move. They constantly move, just like their origins did in their time 2 million years ago. Always on the move. What? Foraging, looking for food, looking for shelter. Always on the move. Never staying stable too long in one spot. So you can't go by what eyewitnesses tell you. Look at, like I said, I've been doing this for years. I've been through that rodeo, more than most. So, what I look for is evidence, like I showed you in the last 3 previous videos, which throughout the years I've showed you a lot of that. I look for items like that. That gives me evidence. That I could read it. I can understand how long ago it was done. It's a place what they will travel through. Okay, so I would look at things like that. Water, very important. The water. Water's life. Life is water. You've got to have some water source. The food source, definitely. The habitat, the environment. These are all involved. You have to incorporate all of this. You can't segregate nothing. Now, I ain't being biased or nothing, but I told you I do watch other shows. And as far as I'm concerned, most of them are doing it wrong. And the other thing is, you can't rely on technology. I mean, come on, man. When are you guys ever going to give that crap up? You're going to have to use your own savvy. This technology crap, I mean, give me a break. You got to get out there like a grunt, man. You got to hump these woods. But most importantly, what I just explained to you, you have to know the environment and the habitat. If the food's not available, the water's not available, the habitat is not the greatest, you're looking in the wrong spot. And I don't care if an eyewitness says, I saw it here. It doesn't matter. And one last point, right here is a big meadow, and this ranch land. They got cattle come out here. When the deer come in here, which they'll be up here shortly, and what they do is deer are known, they'll mingle with cows and cattle and graze amongst them. They will do that. One of the main factors I know that these hybrids are coming through here is for the deer. And the reason I know that too, because I've been observing this and studying this for the last 3 years. Right in late spring, it starts from late spring all the way into October. It gets really active in this area, as it should. And what they're doing is I've said it 100,000 times. What is their top meal? Deer. Top source of protein. They'll survive off small mammals, but they need more meat than that. You have to really get a lot of protein in you to feed that huge, massive body. Okay? That's just the way it is. And that's what another reason they come through here, because the deer come through here. Okay? So there's quite a few reasons. And they have the habitat, they have the environment, they have the resources, and for food. Here, so you don't hear nothing right now. They're just watching me. Right in front of me, off to my left, something threw something. And right over here, they threw something too. But right now, they're just watching me. The more I make myself available, the more I gain their trust. See what I'm talking about? And the more you gain their trust, they're not going to be so evasive to you. Trust is a very important thing, and respect. Respect them, their territory. Respect, that this is where they live. This is their home. I'm invading their home. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. I just wanted to get you all updated on how my research is coming out right now, okay? So, I will talk to you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I hope you enjoyed this video and it was informative for you. So, I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my day. You guys take care. Have a good one. See you later.